dive, let me talk about what they're all about. The pouch, the panels, the fabric, the waistband. Got me waking up feeling like a new man. Here's a list of the things they keep separate: the leg, the eggs, the thighs, the sweat that's wicked away. I'm supported by comfort lasting all day. You know what I'm gonna say? Check your drawers and see that you have none. Let's start with step one and get some.
Will you remember this moment? The world as it turns, right now. Maybe, but you will remember this season of finals. Witness it. Feel it. This is something we'll never forget. Be part of history. It's unmissable. The UEFA Finals. Only on TNT Sports.
Is he going to be here every week?
TNT Sports Box Office. Presented by William Hill.
I'm interested in doing the biggest fights, most money, most glamour.
The fight that we all want to see is Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk.
Could see a unification fight between these two. What we want the best.
These showdown that are steeped in history.
Where's Oleksandr Usyk, the rabbit?
Really belle, bien man.
Hey, rabbit! You are next!
The news that it is signed
is from the forefront.
I didn't think the fight was going to happen. You're getting it, little sucker!
Stop buying. This is just a perfect situation.
I only done one Ukrainian, and I'll do you as well.
This is going to be something a little bit special.
Tick-tock.
I need Undisputed.
I can't wait!
We will finally know who the top heavyweight on the planet is.
Let's get it on!
Let's get it on. The day is finally here. The undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. The Ring of Fire, the Rumble in Riyadh. Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. Yesterday's weigh-in got a little bit spicy. The stakes are high. And the time is nigh. Fantastic to finally have the day and the card that will build and build towards that big finale later. Here with us on TNT Sports Box Office. You're also live with us for the time being on TNT Sports 3. Delighted to have your company. That is the main event. Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk over 12 rounds for the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. It'll be live with us later from the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. But as mentioned, it's a fantastic card that will take us there later. Part 2 of a thrilling meeting between Jaya Pitaya, the Australian, and Meris Bredis for the vacant now IBF World Cruiserweight Championship. Part 1 was thrilling and close. This will be close too. Wales legend Joe Cordina and Anthony Kakache from Belfast for the IBF and IBO Super Featherweight Championship of the world. 2 belts on the line there. A final eliminator for the WBC World Heavyweight Championship. Frank Sanchez and Agit Kabayel, a nice clash of styles. Also at heavyweight, a big night for the teenager, Moses Itauma. First big title for him. WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. He's up against Ilya Mezentsev. There's the vacant WBC Silver Lightweight Championship for Mark Chamberlain or Joshua Wahab. Sergey Kovalev, into his 40s now, still going strong. He fights at light heavy against Robin Zafar. And at cruiserweight, David Nika and Michael Sykes will get it on. And that's not all. In the next hour or so, we've got these 4 guys. A little later, Daniel Lapin, who's been a terrific amateur and is a huge, certainly very tall light heavyweight at 6'6". From the Usyk stable, he takes on the Portuguese Octavio Pudivtr, and then shortly, a stablemate and lifelong pal of Tyson Fury's Isaac Lowe, with ideas still of a world shot at featherweight. He takes on the Afghani fighter Hazibullah Ahmadi, who fights from Dubai these days, so not a long trip for him to the Saudi Arabian capital, Riyadh. So lots and lots to look forward to in the company, I'm delighted to say, for the newly crowned, a week old, WBO International Middleweight Champion, Denzel Bentley, who's alongside me. Good afternoon, Denzel.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Delighted to have your company and your insight. How's it feeling a week on from being back in the winner's corner?
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good, man. It was a good fight. you know, lost the 2 rounds, but that's because I was so focused and razor sharp, and you know, we're looking forward to seeing some good boxing like that today.
We are indeed, yes. Danny Dignam, your beaten opponent a week ago, and you'll be building towards big things perhaps in the summer, but all eyes on Riyadh for the next few hours. And of course, as much as we will get our teeth into that undercard very shortly, I'd love to get your thoughts quite close now to the main event. We've seen them talk the talk. We've seen a little bit of the walk this week in terms of the press events and the open workouts. What have you drawn from those?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most focus I've seen Tyson Fury since, you know, one of the Wilder fights. He's lost a lot of weight since the Ngannou fight, also showing that shows that he's putting the right work. And he's ready. He knows this is a big fight. He knows this is his chance. So I think he's really on it. I think we're going to get a good version of Tyson Fury tonight.
Yeah, he looks particularly light, and the light in his eyes looks good. Now, what about Oleksandr Usyk? First, let's clarify, at yesterday's weigh-in, he was originally called at 233 pounds, which everybody thought was very heavy. It's actually since been clarified it was 223, and that's pretty much what he always weighs in at. Yeah, so the weight got mixed up, but Fury's looked... Usyk has looked so focused to me. I've seen a look in his eyes, and it's... You know, when you want something so bad, that's the look I can see, and I think he's going to be very dangerous tonight. He's going to dance around the ring and just put on a classic Usyk performance. And therein lies the fascination, I think, with these two unbeaten fighters. Let's not forget that, which is extraordinary in this day and age. It's very difficult throughout all of the experts, including your good self. It's difficult to know with certainty how this is going to go. Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, every time someone's asked me, I've changed my answer. It's crazy. And these are the fights that we live for. These are the fights that get us excited and the fights we all want to tune into. So I think it's going to be a great fight tonight, but I think I've been saying my main thing is it depends on the ref.
Ladies and gentlemen, we get things started in the
As you can see, Thomas Stryber is in the centre ring out in Riyadh, and he is about to introduce us to our first two fighters.
Ahmadi.
And the Afghani fighter Hasibullah Ahmadi will be on his way now. A young man who had to leave his native Afghanistan in his teenage years for fear for his own safety, now based in Dubai. Very much fights for his homeland, and then with a very decent record, 16 wins and just the 1 defeat thus far to his name. As you can see, his nickname is Kalashnikov, which perhaps tells you something about his style. He tries to occupy and dominate, tries to dominate from the centre of the ring, as does his opponent, so he could, Denzel, be in for a good match this.
Yeah, no, I think we could be in for a good match. This is a young man that wants to prove himself. He's fighting for his country, and you know, he's at the big stage now. This is where everyone wants to be, every fighter wants to be, and he has the opportunity to make a name for himself, similar to what Nick Ball done when he got to fight Isaac Lowe on a big stage. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, just those 2 defeats for Isaac Lowe, and I think, as mentioned, he's known, I think Tyson Fury, they've known each other since childhood, so it's a big night for him fighting on a Fury card again. They want to start this off in the right fashion for the Fury camp.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, they want to go back home and celebrate together, and you know, they've been in this journey together, you know, pretty much since childhood, like you said. So the fact that he gets to open up for his best friend, that's an honor. So he's going to want to do his best and
now
set the vibe for the night.
England, Isaac, the Westgate Warrior, Lowe.
Here he comes then, from Morecambe, Isaac Lowe, young man, well, relatively young. He's 30 years of age, been around boxing all his adult life, really. That's all he's known. He's helped train Tyson Fury, I think, in the past and been in his corner. Obviously, that won't be the case tonight, although I understand Tyson's father, John, may well be in Isaac's corner for this fight we're about to watch with interest. But it's a big night for him as well. Denzel mentioned those 2 defeats to Nick Ball and Luis Lopez. No disgrace in either of those defeats, but if he has obviously aspirations, and I'm sure he does, of big nights to come, then he needs to show what he's made of here and now.
Yeah, no, he does. Like you said, no shame in those losses. One is the world champion and one's a potential world champion. Probably should have been world champion in his last outing and got a chance to do it again in his next outing. So there's no shame in that. But if he really has aspirations to be one of those world champions, he needs to shine tonight. And this is, you know, the first step to going towards that world title dream for him.
He's had one or two frustrations in terms of fights being on and then off in the last year or so. And I think from any professional fighter's point of view, clearly you're trying to put food on the table and so on. But the ups and downs, the roller coaster of trying to get ready, then it falling through for maybe nobody's fault. But that can be quite frustrating, quite downheartening at times.
Yeah, most definitely, man, because you spend, you know, however many weeks or months getting ready for a fight, and then at the last hurdle, it gets called off because of, you know, an injury or something, or no fault of your own, and then you just got to kind of swallow that pill and, you know, keep motivated and go again. We don't get paid to train, we don't get paid for camp. If anything, we're paying for these camps and we're paying to train. So, like you said, this is the way of putting food on the table for our families and stuff. So when fights get, you know, pushed back or they fall through, you know, it can be upsetting.
Indeed. Now, he's got about a 3-inch height advantage, and will that also, I think, be accompanied by a decent reach advantage? So those things in terms of the physical matchup should favour Isaac Lowe. Yeah,
they should. It's all about how he uses his advantages tonight, and, you know, how his opponent Ahmed can take them advantages away from him.
Welcome to Ring of Fire.
Thomas Treiber with the formalities inside the ring.
Boxing live from Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions and Bob Arum for Top Rank Incorporated. In conjunction with Riyadh Season, National Event Center,
Ahmadi,
the General Entertainment Authority,
mentioned he's had 17 pro fights, so he is well used to the stage, albeit this is a big one.
This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Steward in charge, Robin Smith.
What goes through a fighter's mind these last few moments? Just trying to get in that little zone?
For me, it's just ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Just get it on.
Let's get it on. We're there, already announcing and introducing the fighters. It's like, let's skip this part and get to the fun part.
You almost see Ahmadi there, just almost unclench the jaw. There's that I suppose there's that bit of tension that you take to the ring with you. Mark Bates, as we see, will referee this fight, just trying to almost loosen up so you don't get too tight and too overly focused.
Yeah, I guess so, because nerves are still running at this point. The nerves go when the first bell rings. It's like, okay, now we're here. But all of this, the announcing and coming up, there's still that anticipation. It's like, it's coming. But when that first bell rings, it all goes away. So, yeah.
And has a professional record
Ahmadi,
of
16 wins and just that one defeat.
With 5 wins.
Talks about fighting for his homeland. Difficult for his father, who was a big part of his upbringing, to come and see his fights at times, because clearly logistical issues in trying to get him out of Afghanistan and to the Middle East to watch these fights in person. But I imagine that'll be foremost in his thoughts, given the circumstances. He'll want to put on a show for those nearest and dearest to him.
Yeah, and that could probably make him more dangerous because he has more to fight for. So, yeah, it should be interesting tonight.
Looks in good shape, always looks after himself extremely well. Isaac Lowe, a featherweight with great durability, 24 wins, just those 2 defeats that we talked about, 3 draws as well.
Warrior Lowe.
Looks calm, looks ready.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on a few for his undercard, so he's used to big occasions.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And the Fury camp will be very keen to see tonight's big show get off to the right start. This is absolutely, though, no idea of a pushover. He has not got a record that would suggest that at all, Ahmadi. We can debate, I'm sure, the quality of some of each of these fighters' opponents, but they've proved over the distance they are durable. You mentioned that both fighters like to try and dominate, and we'll see who occupies early doors centre ring. It's Lowe initially, although there's no backing off from Ahmadi. He's on the outside somewhat, shorter man. Both orthodox fighters looking to snake out that left hand and just pin the opponent. First couple of jabs landing from Ahmadi there.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to establish a jab first and, you know, let your opponent feel your power, what you possess. Isaac Lowe came out straight away and took the centre of the ring. That's a positive start from him. Yeah, little body shot there just around the left elbow, snaking in from Lowe, which is feeling out with that left hand. Another nice button jab
from Ahmadi, finding its way through Lowe's gloves and onto the nose, onto the face. He also prepared to go low. A couple of little signs of encouragement for both fighters here, Denzel.
Yeah, most definitely. I think Ahmadi started well with that jab. He's been followed. That was a nice little jab, and he's changing the variation. He's going head and body, which will probably open up Isaac Lowe later in the round. So he's investing early.
Yeah, trying to get perhaps those hands to drop a little bit, and then he can work the body to good effect, as well as those jabs that are snaking through. Lowe, as you can see, as we discussed comfortably, the taller man should have the reach advantage. But Ahmadi now starting to threaten to take centre ring away from Lowe. Maybe he's just backed off and prepared to fight a little bit more at distance.
Yep, you've seen him drop his hands a bit now and try and get more loose and probably box being reactive. So, yeah, so that means Ahmadi's, his plan's slightly working.
Yeah, Lowe on the outside now, looking for different angles, trying to loosen up almost, you sense in his shoulders, trying to get his range. But Ahmadi's caught him 2 or 3 times now. Obviously, these are lighter men, so the punches may or may not have the real zip of the heavier men that we'll see later, but they'll do some damage, Denzel.
Yeah, most definitely. They'll do some damage, and it will all add up, and we probably might see, one of these guys get stopped in the later rounds, but it probably go the full distance, looking at their knockout ratio. But Ahmadi's he's kept his shape. He hasn't changed anything. He's made Isaac Lowe change what he wants to do initially, and he's still investing into that body with the lead hand.
Yeah, nice little uppercut there from Lowe.
From Lowe, yeah, it's a good exchange from Lowe.
Yeah, maybe, and again with the other hand. That's 2 that have landed. There's another one. So maybe just later on in this round, he's just starting to. Yeah, I think he's starting to open up the opponent. He's worked the body again a little bit there. So late in this round, some encouragement for the Englishman. 15 seconds left. Lowe shines a big left hand that Ahmadi saw coming, and he's landed a couple of times. It's good stuff, this, in the opening round. They're both landing good punches, but they're taking punishment as well, Denzel. So it's who's feeling the braver at this point. And again, they both land towards the belt. I think they'll both take something from that. Quite an even round, would you say?
Yeah, quite an even round, yeah. It had the spurts. At points, Ahmadi was doing well, and then coming towards the end, Lowe took over. So, yeah, quite an even round, I'd say.
Yeah, they'll both know they're in for a fight already now after 3 rounds of this 10-round fight. No sign of Big John in Isaac's corner, so perhaps he's saving himself for the entertainment that we'll get later on. He is, as you'll have seen, I'm sure, in the coverage of Fight Week out in Riyadh, part of the show, part of the entertainment these days, Tyson's father, John. But you can see there's a little mouse underneath that right eye for Ahmadi, so one of those uppercuts or one of those punches, certainly from Isaac Lowe, has wrought a bit of damage under the eye. He'll be happy it's under.
Yeah.
Rather than over. It doesn't look like it'll affect vision. Just watching a couple of the replays. There's a good shot. And he went for the big follow-up. Lowe saw that coming. But encouragement for both men.
Yeah, most definitely. I think both men probably feel like they can hurt each other. They've earned each other's respect, but I think we're going to see a fight in the centre of the ring just build up slowly, and they're going to go for it.
Again, they both land early on. Again, that uppercut, that's working well for Isaac Lowe. And I think he's snaking that left hand, looking for that left hook often. That's probably where he caught Ahmadi under the eye, looking to come around the guard with that left hand. And Ahmadi noticeably going low himself, obviously the shorter man, looking to work the body and then switch up to the head. That looks like a tactic from the Afghani fighter. That attempted uppercut again, but he's quite low. Obviously, once he crouches, the uppercut becomes difficult for Lowe to land.
I think Lowe keeps throwing that left because every time Ahmadi dips down, he drops his right hand slightly.
Interesting, yeah. So he spotted that, or perhaps that was part of the build-up. They know that's a weakness. A good right hand there. Looked like it at least partially landed. But he occupies center ring. Ahmadi comes forward. He is a come-forward fighter, a front-foot fighter by reputation. Getting busy in spurts here, Lowe. It's not a torrent of punches. He's trying to set himself for those little combinations and then back off. Ahmadi is hungry and keeps coming forward, doesn't give Lowe a lot of time off.
Yeah, the pressure of Ahmadi could possibly get to Lowe later in this fight. Because he just keeps pressing forward, he keeps coming forward, he's been hit with shots and, he's not taking a backward step. He's made, Isaac Lowe change his you know, his style from taking the centre of the ring to dropping his arms and getting loose and going backwards. But
nice combinations there from Lowe, just backing the Afghani up, at least temporarily. Not for long. Forward he comes again. He felt there was a couple of those last punches. Lowe working busy with the left hand again, trying to open up Ahmadi. Gloves still up for now, although they've dropped a little bit from Lowe, I notice.
Yeah, I think look, overall Lowe is landing the better combinations, the better punches. But Ahmadi's coming in like he's trying to hurt Lowe.
Yeah, he is a come-forward fighter, as we've said a few times, and I think he's brave with that. He's prepared to take some punishment on the way in order to get close enough to land his own shots. But he takes one on the side of the jaw there. A nice right hand from Lowe, follows it up, probably felt that he'd opened the door there and was willing to try and rush through a little bit. I feel like the cleaner work is coming from Isaac Lowe in terms of the punches.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to work this opponent down.
Yeah, he's going to have to wear him down. It's at a very high pace, to be honest.
Yeah, again, combination, different types of punches from Lowe. As if looks like he had a quick word with the referee on the way out of that combination, that flurry. That's better. A little feint in and out and creates the range for his punches. He can find a way to...
There's a cut somewhere.
Yeah, there is. There's some blood somewhere. I don't know if it's Lowe who's been cut. I would suggest it is, because I see nothing on Ahmadi's face. So it may be that Isaac Lowe's been the first to be cut here. Whether it's any kind of concern, we'll perhaps see shortly. Just the eye on that little, on that mouse under the eye. Tough man to make a life for himself away from his homeland. And just perhaps here in the background, some of the chat from the other corner talking about Isaac Lowe having to keep his head up. He's almost coming down to Ahmadi's level.
Yeah,
and thus
it's easier for Ahmadi to land his shots.
Yeah,
like we said in the beginning of the fight, is how he uses his advantages. If he doesn't use them, then it's no good to him having them.
Yeah, there's that uppercut that's been good. Yeah, that's worked well for him. But in dropping his head in to try and find Ahmadi with his punches, and he has landed nicely.
Yes.
He's offering his own target, isn't he? Off we go again then, out in Riyadh. Round 3 of 10. We didn't get a shot of Isaac Lowe's corner to see what, if any, was the damage to his face. Try and have a look at it. Looks like there may have been a cut. Is that just a strand of hair? Hard to see. You'd imagine the corner's done a bit of patching up if there was a cut of any significance in that previous round. We're into round 3. Lowe coming forward. Back comes Ahmadi. He wants always to keep coming forward. It's his nature, his style. Can Lowe be encouraged to stay taller and thus maybe keep his head a bit more out of range? Changing jabs. Lowe almost drawn into a scrap.
Yeah.
And that probably suits his opponent a bit more.
Yeah, I think that's what Ahmadi wants. I think he wants a scrap. He doesn't want Lowe boxing and moving around, because then he'll be falling short.
A couple of good punches there. That left hook again from Lowe, then steps away, remeasure the distance.
This is where Lowe wants to be. Just slightly on the outside, just in range of his jab. Oh, there's a cut from Ahmadi. I think that was a clash of heads.
Yeah. He immediately protested to the referee as if to say,
yeah.
But I think the referee saying that was accidental. You both dipped into each other.
Yeah, they are both fighting with their heads low.
That's a good shot there. I think Ahmadi felt that. He may be slightly worried about that cut, and that obviously, I guess, could affect your concentration even just for the split second it takes for another punch to land. It looks like it's somewhere around the corner of that left eye, which, if it's to affect his vision, of course, that will be a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he wants to, hope that doesn't, fall into his vision and is more on the outside rather than on top of his eye.
Yeah. That's better from Lowe. That distance between the two fighters, I would have thought more to his liking. He's switching as well from orthodox to southpaw once or twice. The further he can get away, the taller he can be, the more effective you feel.
That's it, he can be. In this fight,
as he ducks in and becomes the smaller man with his opponent, thus it becomes the brawling barroom
he's
fight.
He's a target for Ahmadi.
Yeah, there's definitely some blood on the body, so it's coming from either one or both fighters. Ahmadi tries the left uppercut himself and the little overhand right, which Lowe definitely felt. It's a brilliant shot because he wasn't looking at the target. He just snaked it out almost blind, but it definitely caught Isaac Lowe on the side of the head. They both very much now know, if they didn't already, this is a tough scrap.
Yeah, 3 rounds in, and both cut, and yeah, go for it, really.
Yeah, the chat pre-fight was that this would almost certainly go 10 rounds, and it may, but if it does, they're going to be pretty deep in the trenches by round 10.
Yeah, most definitely.
They are giving and taking plenty of punishment here. Again, they both land. Tough fight for the two men, this. I guess they probably might have expected, given their records and their styles, that it was going to be a good match and a tough match, and so it's proving.
Yeah, most definitely. They both want this. They both have a lot to fight for in terms of Ahmadi, especially, his family and his dad not being able to travel and stuff. He wants to represent his family, and then you got Isaac Lowe, who, wants to do his best friend proud in the biggest night of his life, and he wants to be a part of that story, a part of that victory, a part of the journey. So
yeah, we can just see that it is to the side, if you like, almost at the end of the eyebrow, but I guess it could potentially still be a slight hindrance if some of the blood that comes from it, obviously they're trying to staunch it, but yeah, if it drops into the eye. But equally, there's some work being done on Isaac Lowe. Again, we can't see exactly from above, but there's definitely some of the corner man's and the cut man's work being required, with the adrenaline being put in to try and stop that cut.
Yeah. So right now, the corner men got their work cut out, 3 rounds in, and they have got to make sure that the cuts don't get any worse.
I think that might have been the clash of heads we just caught.
There,
yeah. And Lowe looking for that left hand round the side. Tough stuff as we go into round 4. Information, as you'll see across the bottom of the screen, on how to buy if you haven't already done so. If you're watching with us on TNT Sports 3, we are also live already on Box Office. The main show will come from Riyadh from 5 p.m. All the ways to get on board for the big show. And this is just the start of the night's entertainment. This is good stuff from Isaac Lowe. He's found that longer range, a bit more to his liking. I wonder if the fight will have to slow down a little bit. At least that might suit Lowe that bit more if it becomes more of a boxing match at distance. But Ahmadi's determined to come in and throw some serious punches, both landing again.
He's willing to take 2 just to land 1 big one. I think Lowe needs to use his feet a bit more to change the pace of this fight. Just to, move around and make Ahmadi chase him a bit and just get off some jabs for now. And then, probably change the pace again as the rounds go on and press him forward. Because right now, they're in a deep scrap.
Yeah, Lowe almost getting dragged into the other man's fight at times. Almost like he's not, perhaps a bit harsh to say his pride, but he's getting stung with 1 or 2 punches and he can't help himself. But he gets I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah.
That's a nice...
This is where he wants to be.
Yeah. Right hand off the other foot, as it were. And he's just trying to stay loose and at distance and box his match as he and his corner see it, and slow Ahmadi down by keeping him at range and picking him off. But Ahmadi's relentless, isn't he? He just comes and comes.
Yeah, he keeps coming. He's not letting off easy. But this is much better boxing from Lowe. He got caught with 2 jabs there, but I mean, he's been moving his feet, head movement.
Yeah, the head movement and the feet are noticeably better, and as a result, he's harder to hit.
Yeah. And he's creating that separation. You can pick his in this round.
Yeah. And maybe with that, he can then wear the opponent down. That willingness to come forward and trade gets that little bit less as the strength and energy is sapped. And then he'll become an easier target. Lowe, the taller man, the older man by 7 years. 30, Isaac Lowe now against the 23-year-old Hasibullah Ahmadi.
Yeah, Ahmadi's still very young in his career.
Yeah, Lowe with significantly more miles on the boxing clock, as it were, as well. Much larger number of professional bouts. Those 2 losses to his name, the 1 to Ahmadi. They're both with excellent records that they're defending here. It's a very competitive division, featherweight, across the globe, across the different organisations. Within the UK, obviously, there's clearly Nick Ball, Daniel Collins. There's a number of potential future fights for Isaac Lowe. but he's got to do a job here first.
Yeah, most definitely. Those are all future fights that you've named there, and they're probably fights that he'd love to get involved in. Probably would love a rematch with Nick Ball once, you know, if or when he becomes world champion, and you know that would be an exciting fight to make.
Yeah, I mentioned that his other defeat was to Luis Lopez, who is already a world champion. There's a number again of Americans and Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, all in that weight category that represent the different organizations, a number of world champions.
Yeah.
So there's many good fights to potentially make, but you have to first beat the guy in front of you, and he is no pushover. He just got caught. Yeah, with the uppercut not landing, and then he's open, of course, as a result.
Yeah.
And the short left hook. Again, when he's inside and ducking into the space that Ahmadi wants to occupy after 4 rounds, that's where it gets troublesome for Lowe. When he can, as we saw in that last round, keep his distance and pick his man, it seems to get easier.
Yeah, and it looks better for him. It looks better. He's making it clear when he does that. When he starts getting into that perimeter where it's close and he's dropping his head and he's coming in, that's when he gets caught with those big shots, them looping shots that Ahmadi is throwing.
That's better. You can hear it again, perhaps in the background, the corner. Settle down, settle down. And yes, he's getting caught here and there because Ahmadi is so relentless coming forward. But as you say, when he gets that separation, that distance, and he can pick his shots and pick his moments to get engaged and then step away, then he looks more in control.
Yeah, he looks better. He looks in control. He looks like he's enjoying himself and having fun, rather than when he's in close, you know, trying to have a scrap with a scrapper.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Little right hook from Lowe, which looked like it landed. The head movement and the foot movement definitely helping Lowe keep a bit of control. He's chatting almost back to his corner. Took one on the way out there. He's lost concentration maybe just for the split second.
Yeah, he's got to
be dangerous.
Keep concentration. All it takes is one shot.
And obviously the further he stays away, the harder it is for Ahmadi with the shorter reach to land a meaningful punch.
Yeah,
he might catch him, but it won't be with any zip or spike.
Yeah. It takes that sting away because he's, you know, he's just that little bit far out.
An inch can make a big difference in a boxing ring, eh? When it's on the end of a big punch. Well, again, using his feet, maintaining his distance, trying to pick his moments. He's fighting the temptation to fight the other man in a...
He is, you can see it.
Yeah, he wants to come in and dispatch him.
Yeah.
But every time he does that, he fights the other man's fight a little bit. Good head movement. He's getting underneath some of those the haymaker punches from Ahmadi. But he is game as you like, Hasibullah Ahmadi. Very prepared to come in and take some in order to get his own punches off.
He's got a very good jab, Ahmadi. He's got a very good jab. He's using it well. Every time he lands it, you just see it pop Lowe's head back. Oh, it's a good left hook from Lowe. Oh, good left hook back from Ahmadi.
Yeah, they're trading again. And trading to good effect. There's a couple of good punches from Ahmadi landing. Yes, at distance, but they definitely connected. Lowe took them well. But he's back into a close quarters fight again in this round at times. And that surely looks like it suits the opponent rather more. Lowe's in again, trying to trade. He has got a good left jab. Decent hook and uppercut as well. He's got a good array of punches, Ahmadi. For all that he looks a pretty straight up and down fighter, he's tough and he's willing to trade.
He is.
Isaac Lowe knows full well this is going to be... This is a tough encounter. He's going to have to work hard to overcome Hasibullah Ahmadi. Of course, this is the first of a brilliant card of fights from the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. We're all the way up to the big one later on TNT Sports box office. Fury and Usyk will meet for the first time in a quarter of a century nigh on to have the right to be called the Undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. All the information again on the screen as to how to buy your way into TNT Sports box office with all the coverage this afternoon and into this evening. We're live with you on both box office and TNT Sports 3 at the moment. We'll switch to box office only at 5 p.m. for all the build-up and the coverage live from Riyadh. So we're into the 6th round, into the second half of this fight. This 10-rounder between Isaac Lowe and Hasibullah Ahmadi of Afghanistan. It's been a tough, grueling encounter already for the first half of this fight. Both men have dished it out and taken it. Again, as much as Lowe tries to keep his distance, he's connecting and connecting quite well, Ahmadi. Lowe must be feeling some of those punches. Bigger man, but strength and zip in some of those shots. And he takes a shot as well, Ahmadi, as he probably has to. Big body shot round the back from Lowe. Clubbing little right hook from Ahmadi, coming forward again. A bit of who's the boss here in terms of the centre. It's Ahmadi again who's just willing to stand and trade. And so Lowe, in backing off, trying to create the space for himself. Slow down as it would have to here, Denzel. They were furious pace for the first 3 or 4 rounds, and inevitably now there's short gaps in the fighting, but it's still pretty intense.
Yeah, it's very intense, and Ahmadi's not backing off. I think he wants it at this pace. I think he feels he can tire out Lowe and you know, just keep pressing the pace and eventually hope to get him out of there. But I think Lowe needs to get back to moving and, you know, slowing down that pace and just not saving himself, but just landing the little pitty-patty shots until he can go again and then land some big shots, because right now he's playing Ahmadi's game.
Yeah. The right hook again from Lowe, certainly semi-connects, then the left hook and the uppercut. Some good punches from the Englishman, who talks about being in the best shape physically and mentally of his career coming into this one. He's been a frustrated figure waiting for opportunities, with fights falling through before Christmas.
Yeah, he looks in great shape. He looks in good shape.
He does. He does. Again, he comes into centre ring and gets involved in that scrap again. He's landing good punches of his own, but he's taking 1 or 2 as well, because Ahmadi is so relentless.
And the effects of the punches look like they're affecting Lowe more than they are Ahmadi.
Yeah.
So he doesn't mind taking 1 to get his off.
You get the sense Ahmadi, his whole boxing life has been about taking 1 to give 1. Yeah. Maybe even taking 2 to give 1.
Yeah.
Lowe, I think, would like to think he's more of the skilled boxer, but he's getting drawn into the fight.
He is. You're just complaining to the ref there. I think that's the sign of, you know, losing concentration, and, you know, it's probably getting a bit hard in there. He needs to get that concentration back and just do what he's doing if he wants to win this fight.
Still springing on those toes and heels, Isaac Lowe. A good head movement, but again, he just gets clipped. Trying to bob and weave and stay away from that right hand in particular, albeit on the back of a very good left jab, as you've said, Denzel. Ahmadi keeps coming, takes plenty, but he comes and comes for you. And Lowe again forced to dance and stay away as best he can. That cut is still there for Ahmadi. Doesn't look like it's giving him an awful lot of trouble. The trickle of blood is down the outside of the eye.
Yes, so he's pretty safe in that sense. I know at times Isaac Lowe's trying to just stand there and show that you can't bully me, to keep Ahmadi off him, but he's just unfortunately he's not strong enough. So he's got to keep on his movement. That little last 10 seconds where he was moving his head, moving his feet, the head movement, he looked good again. But, you know, sometimes you've got to bully the bully to make them step back. But in this case, he's not strong enough to do that.
Yeah, he's just too relentless, Ahmadi. He wants that fight, and he's prepared to take the punishment that comes with forcing the pace and the space to get smaller and narrower. He's getting plenty of instruction from his corner. Again, a bit of work needed for Isaac Lowe. There's evidently a cut that needs working on there. There's plenty of instruction from his corner, we've heard, when we've been able to listen in. They're trying to get him to box rather than scrap, if you will.
Yeah. When he boxes, for me, he looked better. But I do understand when someone keeps applying that pressure, when you move back, you're just inviting them in. So you may want to stand there a little bit and just show them, you can't do that to me. But in this case, Ahmadi, he's just more physical. He's just much more physical.
Yeah. Again, he shortens the distance every chance he gets, Ahmadi. Lowe trying to fend him off, pick his shots, and use his feet to dance away. And of course, that's all very well saying it, doing it, it's proving difficult. Just measuring with the left hand, lining the right up. Lowe, both men have just looked a little bit more tired the last round or so. Perhaps the combination of the effort and the punishment they've both endured is starting to show. It's better from Lowe, isn't it? It's better. Yeah. The distance is better, and thus his work looks cleaner. His head movement's good at that distance. He's able to anticipate the shots and get out of the way. It's better.
You can see a lot more from that distance. He's not getting caught with looping shots over the top. Because right now, what Ahmadi's doing when he's in close is just throwing and hoping to land. But when Lowe's at this distance, he can see it all and he can get out of the way and miss it.
Yeah. Still comes forward, Ahmadi, but Lowe, as soon as he creates that separation, that space, he looks happier and the work looks better. Can he keep it up for the second half of this 7th round of 10? Again, perhaps he's just now starting to get dragged back into the scrap again. He almost can't resist. That's a good left jab from Lowe, followed by a nice combination. He steps away to create the separation, but not for long. Forward and forward comes Ahmadi. Oh, he was thinking about the right hand, just got clipped on the way forward. Attempted right from Lowe, just misses the target. A couple of good lefts to line the right up. Wear and tear evident on both men's faces. Again, we've not seen a close-up of the cut on Lowe's face. It's clearly not a problem to him. There's no great evidence of blood, so the cornerman's done a good job.
Yeah, the corner's done a good job. Yeah, it's not trickling down neither, blocking his vision, so yeah.
Lowe definitely trying to keep away from the scrap on the inside as best as possible. Pinned on the ropes temporarily, gets out of danger. Clutches him again with the right. Ahmadi maybe just starting to slow down a little bit. Looks a little bit squarer and heavier on his feet, flatter on his feet. Keeps coming, keeps throwing, but that's the spirit in him. It'll just be a case of who blinks first here. They look durable enough, so if it goes the distance, where would we be in terms of points? Because I guess the aggressions come from the Afghani, but perhaps the skill and the cleaner punches at times have come from Isaac Lowe. So how would you read it?
It's a hard one to score. I just know Lowe looks much better when he's boxing from the outside and letting his hands go. Those rounds are easier to score for me. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ahmadi was slightly ahead or if it was, you know, a draw. It is a close contest, and neither fighter is winning clearly, in my opinion.
Yeah, good fight, engaging, an enthralling fight with that contrast of style. Styles make fights, as the old saying goes, and it's true here. So, wanting a boxing fight, ending up having a fight for a part of each and every round. Ahmadi is a scrapper, and a pretty good one. And
Lowe is, you know, he's got that warrior spirit. His nickname is the Warrior, so he's showing that, but he needs to keep that discipline and just stick to that boxing, because that's where he looks his best for me.
Yeah. Again, the shot from above, it looks like the cut is in a similar part of the face for both men, somewhere around and outside that left eye, whether just to the side or below. I think neither have got a cut above, which would obviously be the bigger problem in terms of affecting vision.
Yeah.
Forward he comes again, got plenty of grease on that cut in particular, Ahmadi.
Yeah, that is a lot of grease. Usually the ref would call that and say it's too much, but...
Yeah, noticed that, but obviously looking to try and skid the glove off in order to protect the cut itself.
Yeah.
Good couple of lefts from Lowe. As soon as he creates that distance, he looks better, doesn't he?
Yeah. Definitely.
He looks happier in terms of the type of shots he can manufacture, and he can get out of the way of what's coming back at him.
Yeah, just as once we get to the halfway point of the round, that's when he just gets dragged into a fight again, and makes it, you know, favour Ahmadi.
Yeah, they're back in close again. It's almost like he's fighting himself at times, Isaac Lowe, in terms of the type of encounter he's having here.
You see John Fury at the edge of the ring.
John, come to watch. Plenty to say, as you might expect, in the background. Plenty of encouragement and advice. That's better. As soon as he loosens up Lowe, he looks more coordinated and less in a barroom brawl.
Yeah.
A couple of good shots there, starting to just showboat a little bit. This is the kind of fight he will want and will probably prosper in if he can stay at arm's length and use his superior experience and maybe superior technique.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Ahmadi's really fighting one way, and you can see Lowe has a lot more tricks in his locker than Ahmadi does, so if he can just use them, this is where the problem is. When he gets in close, he's getting caught with these wild shots.
Yeah. Yeah, those clubbing short punches thrown almost from the waist coming up and around and clipping the jaw on both sides of Isaac Lowe. Again, will feel the punishment, and that'll slow him down and make him an easier target in turn. Again, he's in a dust-up again towards the end of this round. As you say, Denzel, each and every round almost, he starts with good intentions and ends up here trading punches with the smaller man who is so game.
Yeah. He needs to just keep that discipline. Ahmadi kept his discipline from the beginning round. He had a job to do, and he's going to do that job. He's coming forward, landing a solid jab, and every time he gets in close, the wild hooks come in. And good shot.
Great left.
Low.
Great left. Just as he came forward, Ahmadi, just the timing, as always in boxing, the punch doubled in power and effectiveness because you walk onto it.
Walk onto it, yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. When he's moving backwards, he can walk him onto shots. That's a good shot from him.
Yeah. Ooh, good shot.
Probably looking for
good shot. He's in trouble here, I think. Suddenly Ahmadi is in trouble.
Oh, there we go. The referee looking to step in, maybe?
Yeah, this is close to a finish. The referee just having a look. The legs were definitely very unsteady there. Lowe sensing the end is nigh. Trying to finish this here and now. And he's lucky that the bell saves him. Ahmadi, he looks very unsteady on his feet as he heads back to the corner.
Yeah, that was a big shot. He is hurt.
Yeah.
Lowe could probably come out and build off that. Not rush his work, but just, you know, make him walk onto another shot like that, and then you can probably get him out of there.
I did wonder whether the corner would consider the towel here, because he looked so unsteady as he went back to the corner there. There's the left. Great shot.
As I said in the early rounds, every time Ahmadi moves, that right hand drops, and that's why Lowe was throwing left hooks and left uppercuts early in the fight.
Yeah.
He's managed to find it again.
Yeah.
Good shot.
Great shot, and he followed up with a couple of really good hits. That one in particular, another big left hand to the jaw.
Yeah, had Ahmadi unsteady.
Yeah, and the legs definitely felt the tremor all the way down through to the feet. And there's another couple of good shots. 2 or 3 in combination. Yeah, the head rocked back. And he was in big trouble. Now, is there a finish here for Isaac Lowe?
When you have a fighter hurt, that kind of gives you a new lease of life.
Yeah, more energy.
Yeah, more energy, yeah. So he's going to go for it in this round.
Of course, he doesn't want to entirely get involved in a scrap again. That's a good left. Just got to be patient enough to wait for the opening. Obviously, Ahmadi's had the rest in between rounds to recover. He's definitely less keen to come forward now, and Lowe is definitely landing again into the start of this round, picking his shots quite nicely. Yeah, he looks reluctant, as he hadn't been previously, and he's getting caught.
That left hook right there is landing every time.
Yeah.
It's working lovely for Lowe.
Yeah, you've spotted that early on, and I think he is starting to look like an open target here, Ahmadi. He's feeling it.
Yeah, now Lowe's getting his work off. You've seen a different, different Lowe right now. He doesn't look sluggish. He's looking sharp again, but he did get caught there in between.
He did, caught a couple of times. Maybe from a tired fighter, so the punch is not quite as zippy, but he's still throwing the odd right haymaker in the hope that he could pull something out of the bag here. Ahmadi, he is brave because he's a man breathing on fumes here. Lowe looking for the uppercut or the hook. It could finish the job here. Cut obviously opened up again. I think there's probably more than one cut now on Ahmadi's face.
Yeah.
Lowe looking for that hook again and the body shot to try and bring the hands down and open the target up.
I think Ahmadi's still hurt from that left hook slightly.
Yeah. We're into the penultimate round here, and there's just under a minute and a half left. Lowe wants to finish, but equally, if he comes forward with too much abandon, he could get caught himself. The hands are low. He's back looking to measure his shots. There's a good shot. Again, from the other side, hooking right hand round the arm and onto the head. You cannot fault Ahmadi's bravery here. Courageous fighter, a 23-year-old, based in Dubai. He's very much a proud Afghani.
Good jab there. I think if Lowe plays his card, that's another good left hook there. If he plays his card right, he can get Ahmadi out of there coming to the end of this fight.
Yeah, there's 30 seconds left in round 9. Round 9 of 10. The referee's shirt again tells the story of this fight. Both men have been bloodied and bruised. And Lowe again trying to be patient, just wait for the right moment. Ahmadi back to the centre of the ring now. He's perhaps found a little bit of his old courage again. It's the last few seconds of this round. Lowe not prepared to be too silly. Just walks away and resets. Comes in again.
Yeah, he's found his space now where he can work, and Ahmadi's no more pressing forward, so he can find little breathers and spots. Like you saw him do, take a walk.
His jab now looks the better, doesn't it? The sharper of the two. Ahmadi's left jab has disappeared a little bit, and Lowe's has come forward to the fore. So 9 rounds in. I think that last couple of rounds, in terms of the points debate we were having earlier, that'll have swung significantly the fight now in Isaac Lowe's favour.
Yeah, most definitely. Isaac Lowe's finishing stronger with that knockdown as well. I think, you know, he's just widening that gap in them scorecards, and it's his fight, really.
Yep.
A lovely right hand there.
Yeah.
From Lowe.
On the way out of the clinch. Just saw his opportunity and took it. He was patient. And I think Ahmadi, through that round, just found enough of a second wind to fend him off and reclaim something of the centre of the ring again. But I guess it's courage, really, as much as anything that's got him still in there.
Getting through, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, I'm sure, conscious and subconscious in a fighter, one of which will be, I want to get to the end of this fight. Win or lose, I don't want to get stopped.
He's made a great account of himself, put on a great effort. You know, he'd want to see the end of this fight. He wouldn't want it to end in a stoppage.
And so, just under 3 minutes left of the 10 rounds here at featherweight. Isaac Lowe, you would think, comfortably ahead now with that knockdown and the dominance he's had in the last 2 or 3 rounds. Of course, he'd love to finish the fight inside the distance. Can he find the requisite clean shot or shots to see his man out of there? Equally, he doesn't want to be so keen to come forward in searching for that he leaves himself open, because Ahmadi has shown he's a capable scrapper and willing to throw some big right hands. One word to properly connect, that could turn the tables in a split second.
Yeah, it could, but he's boxing at a nice distance here, Lowe. You know, he's keeping everything at the end of his jab. He's not rushing, just caught a left hook there, but...
There's proof, if you needed it, that there's still enough danger in that ring for Isaac Lowe to try and keep his distance, come in with caution. Just under 2 minutes now. No need to force the issue for Lowe, as much as he might want the stoppage. Stay away from danger.
That's it, really, yeah. You don't want to just walk in and, you know, walk into something silly.
Yeah, a win is a win in the end against a very durable and courageous man who's only been beaten once previously in professional boxing.
These are the shots he doesn't want to...
There's a couple of good shots landed there. Back comes Isaac Lowe with a good left jab. But he knows full well, as we can see from a long way away, that he's still in a fight here. Ahmadi will not go quietly. Still trying to nick a win himself here. With just over a minute left. Good left jab again, rocks Ahmadi's head back. Good right hand from distance. And again, looking for the meaningful killer shot, Lowe, but knowing that with that comes a degree of risk. And tees off with the right hand. Saw it coming, Ahmadi. The jab is effective, as it has been for a few rounds now from Lowe. Dances away from danger. Starts his next attack. Yeah, he's just, I think, prepared to box his way to a finish here now, Isaac Lowe. He's decided that discretion might be the better part of valour.
Yeah.
There's still enough in Ahmadi's tank, I think, still enough spite in some of those wild right hands to stay away from them. Two brave men at featherweight. The first fight of the night from the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh has not disappointed.
Not at all.
Plenty to admire in these two men. And there we are. The bell brings the contest to an end. And they embrace. I think they both know they've had a pretty tough night's work there.
Yeah.
Isaac Lowe goes and has a quick word with the opposition corner. Ahmadi does the same. I think his face tells you how he feels about that.
Now it's down to the big fella. Go on, Tyson. Let's get this party rolling.
Yeah, that's it.
Now it's down to the big fella. Go on, Tyson. There's Tyson Senior, who's jumped in to we assume, congratulate Isaac Lowe. I think in terms of the points here, it would be hard to see past an Isaac Lowe victory with the knockdown and the dominance in the second half of the fight. But
yeah,
good contest.
Yeah, good contest. Both guys made a great account of themselves. Ahmadi showed a lot of heart, a lot of courage staying in there, especially as he was hurt after that knockdown.
Yeah, we see actually now that the fight's finished, it's quite a serious cut that over the left eye, quite deep,
yeah, it is quite
and
deep.
Quite wide. It's almost snaked towards the left eye, almost over the eye. So I think the corner did well to keep the blood out of his eye. Yeah. Similarly, there's a cut, in fact, again, just above that left eye, I think, from Isaac Lowe. So again, the corner did very well to...
pretty much on the eyelid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could have been really a problem. Of course, we know all about Tyson Fury's own problems with that cut above his right eye, if memory serves. Hence the postponement from February, the original date. But back into the ring we go for the decision here. We feel pretty confident that Isaac Lowe has done enough here.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, our referee in charge, Mark Bates, scores this contest 97-92 for your winner, Isaac the Westgate Warrior Lowe.
By 5 rounds, that's keeping the knockdown. So.
Yeah, that feels about right, would you say?
Yeah,
the knockdown would give him a 10-8 round.
Yeah. That's probably about right.
1-0, one to go. I think we know Isaac's sense of how he hopes the night will unfold from here. Yeah. The men from Morecambe are going to do a job in Riyadh. His job is done successfully, 97-92. As we walk back through the key moments in the fight. Tremendously aggressive start from both men. Real dust-up in the early rounds. Both exchanging good punches. Both getting cut around the left eye. Ahmadi giving as good as he got. And Lowe tempted in at times to a close quarters scrap that perhaps suited the opponent more. Eventually, though, got the space and distance he needed to do his work. Great uppercut there.
Yeah, that was a great uppercut. Yeah, he was landing a lot of those all night. And I just thought he looked way better in that distance when he kept his range and his distance at the end of the jab, and that was the left hook that put Ahmadi down, and it was a great shot.
Yeah, followed it up with a couple of almost punches, a couple of them landing pretty successfully.
Yeah,
not quite enough to stop a very tough man, 23-year-old from Afghanistan, but Isaac Lowe gets it done. Referee, I think rightly, calling it comfortably in his favour. So one fight in, and as you heard, 1-0 to the men from Morecambe. We will take a short break here on TNT Sports 3 and Box Office, but plenty more to come from the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh.
Where ordinary people see abandoned buildings, engineers see a challenge.
How do we take that infrastructure and not throw it away?
To preserve their past.
70 years ago, these used to house bunk beds protecting Londoners.
And give them a bright new future.
It's taking the old and breathing new life into it.
We're ensuring that the voices of these buildings continue to be heard down through the ages.
Brand new, Engineering Repurposed. Starts Thursday the 30th of May on Quest.
With Aviva Wealth, you can easily see how your savings, investments and pensions are doing. So when the time is right, you can make the changes you want. Helping you put the right pieces together for your future. It takes Aviva Wealth. Savings, investments, pensions.
She's got that McDonald's double points feeling. Yep, him too. Shall we? And then, because they've ordered the improved classics with My McDonald's Rewards. Unlock in app today.
Congrats. See you on Monday.
First job, fantastic. Let's talk pay slips.
Doors closing.
Remember, rent's due tomorrow, mate.
Well done, son. Have you thought about your long-term savings plan?
Find your way to new beginnings with Barclays Life Skills. And join the millions we've helped so far.
Maggie, let's do this.
Barclays. Make money work for you.
Welcome back to the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. We are building up towards that Ring of Fire meeting between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk. It's all live on TNT Sports box office from 5 p.m. tonight. You can use the QR code on the screen, or you can go to tntsports.co.uk/box office to get involved. For more information on T's and C's, also you can use the website. The QR code is all you need to buy in and be ready for all the coverage from Riyadh from 5 p.m. We are already on box office, but we are equally, for the time being, live with you on TNT Sports 3. We've already seen Isaac Lowe, stablemate of Tyson Fury, get the job done against a very game Afghani fighter in Hasibullah Ahmadi. But of course, we are building up to the big one. These two, if not quite, Denzel Bentley alongside me face to face at times this week. They will be face to face in a few hours' time. Was this just all part of the dance, all part of the ritual, or was anything to be read into this?
I mean, some people want to read into it, but I just think Fury just decided he's not going to entertain him or play into Usyk's mind games, because I think Usyk has been really subtly playing mind games with Fury, and I think Fury is starting to feel it a little bit, so he decided, I'm not going to face off with you.
Do the mind games make a difference in the end, or is it just all part of the pre-match, pre-fight routine?
It can do. It can do. It can make you fight differently because, you know, you feel a certain way because of what's been going on. But other than that, yeah, it's just funny and good to see. I mean, this had everyone talking, and they were comparing it to old fights, like when Dillian Whyte didn't want to look at Anthony Joshua, or when Errol Spence didn't want to look at Terence Crawford, and they're saying, "Oh, like, what does this mean?" So it's good to look into, to be honest.
Yeah, you could gauge a kind of who blinks first, and in this case, you'd say Tyson has blinked first by not looking in Usyk's. But you did like the look in Usyk's eyes, didn't you? The last couple of days, you feel there's a kind of
there's a focus there. There's a bit of, you know, we're finally here, and this is my time, and it's destiny type of look, and that's made me feel like he can do it. But listen, we'll find out in a few hours.
We will, and as Denzel has said, if you're listening earlier, every time someone asks him, including me, every time he goes to the shop, opens the door, meets somebody new, they ask, and he changes his mind, which tells you plenty.
Yeah.
No one's quite sure, and of course that is why we watch. The not knowing is the best thing about boxing, about professional sport. Yep. If you want a happy ending, watch a film.
Watch a film, yeah. That's it.
It might go wrong tonight. One of these guys is going to have a blemish.
Literally.
O is going to go. And we just don't know who. What we do know is who comes next out in Riyadh. And again, it's an intriguing clash of sizes, of styles, of backgrounds, of stories. Boxing throws up so many of these. This man is Octavio Pudivtr. He is a big, brave boxer, now based in Porto in Portugal, born in Mozambique in southern Africa, a former Portuguese colony, of course. He's been a professional boxer. He's tried his hand at MMA and come back to professional boxing with an impressive record of 9 wins and just 1 defeat. That to Britain's Willie Hutchinson, and that defeat came just 5 days after his previous encounter. So, Denzel Bentley, he's durable and he's willing.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, to take a fight 5 days after you've already fought is, you know, pretty insane. Everyone would like a wrestle, would like to recover, especially with someone with aspirations of a winning record and stuff. But I guess some opportunities are just too hard to turn down.
How much would somebody have to offer you to fight 5 days after? And it's not allowed in Britain, so let's be clear. It would have to be hypothetical.
Yeah, I mean,
but many zeros.
Many zeros. Something that's going to change my life for, forever. So, yeah, to even consider it.
Octavio Pudivtr is known as Tank, as you can see on the back of his walk-on warm-up jacket. As Thomas Schreiber welcomes his opponent.
The undefeated Daniel Lapin!
Ukrainian Daniel Lapin, born in Crimea. And he is a big man.
He is
6'6" tall, Daniel Lapin, which is, even for the big men of boxing, at light heavyweight, that is a significant height.
Yeah, that's a cheat code. It's a cheat code. And he's a southpaw.
Indeed.
Yeah, so
it's quite the combination. He is a man with a big amateur record, relatively late, as many Ukrainians can be, to professional boxing, albeit an unblemished 9-0 record. But he's 26, he had nigh on 300 amateur fights. And so he knows his way around a ring.
Very experienced. Very experienced. Like you said, he just turned professional late, but with 300 amateur fights, that's a lot of experience.
Yeah. Very impressive early record. He was, I believe, the first fighter that Oleksandr Usyk signed to his own stable, so clearly saw something in this relatively young man. He's been pretty much perfect in paying his paymaster back, if you will, thus far with that 9-0 record. Looks like he's getting better all the time. He's starting to put stoppages together with those early points wins. He came on his card. He's had the hair done, in blue and yellow,
colours, to
represent his nation.
Yeah, I mean, them late stoppages that you're talking about that have now started to come, that just means he's learned how to sit on his shots and put them, big power shots together. So he's going to be even more dangerous now. We thought he was awkward before. He's become awkward and dangerous. That's a bad combination for the light heavyweight division.
I wouldn't like the sound of that.
Yeah,
awkward and dangerous, two words I would like to avoid in a boxing ring. Yeah, he looks the part, and as you'll see shortly, he will, even though he's a big man, his opponent, Octavio Pudivtr, he will tower over him, Daniel Lapin. Part, and it seems can back it up. He actually, interestingly, Denzel has talked about his hobbies away from the ring. They include writing poetry. Now, how many boxers have you come across that are poets and they didn't know it?
None. I mean, that is very different. It's very different. It just shows he's good with his mind. And yeah, it probably gives him a little bit of downtime. That helps him, probably in camp when he's locked away. And he just, sits down and writes some poetry. So I think that's good. I think that's good for, the mental state of a fighter.
Maybe you should try your hand.
I don't think I'm very good at
Stepped in the ring, the bell went ding ding.
And then I came out with a win.
Yeah, there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this
there you go. We're up and running.
Here we go. Dynamic duo.
We're up and running. With a very short-lived career in poetry. Never known. No, not really about us, this. It's about that man and his opponent.
Of Queensberry Promotions and Bob Arum for Top Rank Incorporated. In conjunction with Riyadh Season, National Event Center, the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, Gold Star Promotions, K2 Promotions, and
again, a clash of perhaps styles we'll see, but certainly physiques. The two types of light heavyweight, I guess you see. It's a bit of an in-between weight. You're obviously too big for middle, and you're something short of heavy, at least for the time being. The very tall, rangy man, and the stocky, powerful man in Pudivtr.
Yeah, I mean, Pudivtr is probably more of the kind of physiques you'll see as a light heavyweight. I mean, Lapin is, he's one of a kind. I've never seen a light heavyweight that's 6'6". So yeah, it's different. So he's probably found it hard to get sparring for this fight or for this opponent. But we'll see how he gets inside and how he manages to use his height as to his advantage, being the shorter man, but probably targeting the body area a bit more.
Bob Williams, the referee, and of course we saw the three judges, including Howard Foster from England. This 10-round fight is for the vacant WBA Continental Light Heavyweight title. Hence the three judges in attendance ringside to score the fight.
Coming to us from Porto, Portugal, He brings a
Imagine,
professional
in terms of sparring to try and get some experience around such a height and reach advantage, you'd almost be looking for heavyweights. Because who else would you find at 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah, no, that's really pretty much looking at heavyweights or, like, you know, big cruiserweights. So,
yeah,
looks in fine fettle though, Octavio Pudivtr, 36 years young, and with 8 children. So he's fighting for a living.
Yeah, he's got a lot of mouths to feed, and I can see his warrior spirit. But just looking at his tattoos, he's got tattoos of a lot of warriors on him, and that just shows the type of man he is. I think he's going to go in for a war today.
Yeah, this might be in some ways similar to our first fight. Indeed, might be in some ways similar to what we could see later on with Fury and Usyk.
Yeah,
there's that classic kind of height and reach advantage over the bullish aggressor. Maybe we'll see what the technical aspects of these two fighters are. Usyk is clearly a master tactician and a very good technical boxer, as you well will be able to explain. But from what we read and little we've seen, Lapin's got technique to back up his physique.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, to have 300 amateur fights, and you know, Usyk looking at you to sign you for his first fight. I mean, yeah, it shows a lot.
Fighter standing. We'll go to the furthest.
It does indeed.
Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves.
Getting the last instructions from our referee. So 10 rounds again of 3 minutes. The last embrace and maybe instruction from the two corners. And then from Wroclaw via Crimea, the proud Ukrainian Daniel Lapin, looking to do a job on Octavio Pudivtr.
Both look very relaxed.
Yeah, one with just 9 pro fights, but that on the back, as we said, of nigh on 300 amateur bouts. Stands up tall, stands up straight with that southpaw action.
The size difference is crazy.
Yeah, it's almost a bit video game-ish.
Yeah.
You know, where you're kind of trying to work out which buttons are going to get me through the next part of this game. Yeah, there's something of Rocky Balboa and...
yeah, Ivan Drago.
Yeah. Moderate start. Both men just looking to try and establish a sense of distance and purpose. Inevitably, with the nickname Tank, Pudivtr is used to coming forward.
Yep. He wants to get inside.
He does.
You see that straight away. But Lapin is using his lead hand very well. Even though he's not throwing it, he's using it to kind of push his head about and find his space and create distance for himself.
Yeah. He's got that amateur pedigree, which, again, you can see in the early stages, the hands are all nicely cocked and correct. Yeah. Very orthodox, almost, for a southpaw.
Yeah.
That left hand, which will be his punching hand, if you will, held back, ready
to let go. Just ready to shoot when it's there.
Big uppercut on the way in from Pudivtr. Saw that one coming from
Pudivtr just switching, trying to find an angle.
Oh, he felt a little bit there as he caught an eye. Well, he actually felt more than that from the punch of the referee. He's warding off. Now, whether he caught something in the eye, looks like he's struggling in his left eye. Whether it was the effect of the punch or a vision issue. No, it's over.
Oh, over.
Wow. Well, that didn't last long.
Didn't at all. The first left hand he landed.
Yeah.
Took him out.
That is a surprise. But he won't care one bit. Daniel Lapin, he is all of a sudden 10-0.
I mean, it's funny because we've seen two sides of it. We had Isaac Lowe, who was Team Fury, that wanted to start off the show well for the Fury team, and then you've got Lapin, who's Team Usyk, that wants to start off the night well for Usyk. So, and they both, you know, come out with wins and had, well, good performance from Lapin and a good fight and performance from Lowe. So now it's down to the big boys.
Yeah. For all the build-up, that did not last long. But as we heard from Isaac Lowe a few moments ago, 1-0. Well, it's 1-1.
Yeah, that's it.
It's 1-1. Not the most meaningful of workouts for Daniel Lapin. As soon as he landed anything meaningful on Pudivtr, he flinched and turned away as if he had a big problem in one eye in particular.
Yeah.
Whether he'd actually felt it more deeply, didn't, on first impression, look like a very meaningful landed punch, but
yeah, it done the job. It didn't look heavy, but it looked sharp. It was a quick left hand, and then, you know, it's something to do with the eye. You saw him blinking, and he touched his eye a little bit to see what happened. Here's a shot again. We'll just get a closer look at it.
Let's have a look. Yeah, you at a glance again doesn't look fight ending. It takes a bit of punishment then after that. Again, a flurry of punches, but
I think it might have been the first shot that caught him in the eye. It might have been a thumb in the eye from the jab.
Yeah, he's definitely unhappy then and wincing and almost like the left eye is not quite right.
Yeah.
Goes down and takes the barrage, but again, nothing you would say
it was fight ending
meaningful. And the second punch catches the forearm really. So as you say, it looks like it's the lead hand that really damages the eye. Again, whether there's a pre-existing problem, we don't know. But as soon as the referee got involved after that flurry was stopped, he waved it off, and that was that. We haven't seen further shots of Octavio. We have now. Yeah, it looks a bit reddened around that left eye, but hard to see initially what the problem exactly was.
Yeah.
Or is. I think he's just explaining now. Sorry, I couldn't give you a better scrap, mate.
Yeah, very much. I mean, I'm sure he'd be disappointed. It was a bit disappointing, you know. I'd be expected, probably a little bit more of a fight, but he couldn't produce that. And listen, congratulations to Lapin. He's done what he needed to do and got the victory.
Yeah, I guess if he even if it was temporary, if you lose vision in one eye, obviously you're almost a sitting duck, aren't you, for the opponent? And let's face it, for all that we want to see good boxing matches, good fights, we don't want anybody, ideally, in any more danger than they have to be.
Yeah, no,
so
of course.
In those moments where you perhaps can't see what's coming clearly, you could suffer life-changing damage.
Yeah. So it's probably better if he, took the route he took and just decided to bow out, really. So you're right.
Ladies
Referees
and gentlemen, here
first
is the official
and
time.
overwhelming
1 minute,
inclination is obviously to
47
protect
seconds
the health
of round
and
number
well-being
one.
of the two fighters
Our
if he
referee
can.
in charge, Bob Williams, reaches the count
Williams
of 10. Therefore, your winner by
took the
way
decision.
of knockout. Still undefeated.
In that moment, Pudivtr was not fit to continue.
Continental Light Heavyweight Champion, Daniel Lapin.
Daniel Lapin gets his arm raised. Barely raised the sweat. It's another stoppage, however untidy you might say it is.
Yeah.
And he's got the belt to go with the victory. He is now the WBA's Continental Light Heavyweight Champion. I think there'll be bigger nights, tougher nights, clearly, for Lapin. But even in the short time we saw, Denzel, there's an awkwardness and clearly a ring craft that will be quite a difficult combination for a lot of opponents.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I think, being in a show like this, he's been able to announce himself. And I hope to see more of him. I want to see how good he is and how good he could be. So he's got that title there. That's going to put him in the rankings. He'll probably keep defending that until he gets into position to fight, some of the big boys that are in his weight class, the Joshua Buatsis, who's #1 in that division, and the Dan Aziz, who's, I think, #2 in that division, and Anthony Yards, and all these guys, that would be good for him to see, so to fight, sorry. So I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I think a number of those British boys you've mentioned would have liked to have seen a bit more.
Yeah.
In terms of what they'd have learned about a potential future opponent. And I would have liked to have seen at least a few rounds.
Yeah, because now you're looking at someone you don't know much about and could be dangerous. So if they got a few rounds, they can kind of gauge how good or how dangerous he could be. But there's loads of potential fights for him. You got Craig Richards, another light heavyweight, who's on the 5v5 next month. And they're all fighting out in Saudi. So these are fights that could all be made, and they'll be interesting fights, to be honest.
Yep, indeed. And as we said, it's one apiece because Lapin signed by Oleksandr Usyk into that stable, if you will. So clearly belief and support from the Usyk camp in Daniel Lapin, who's definitely not new to boxing, not even now after 10 fights, new really to professional boxing, but starting to stretch his legs towards, he hopes, bigger paydays and important titles. This is perhaps the first of the belts he feels he's capable of winning. Yeah,
no, most definitely. I mean, 300 amateur fights, you've dedicated yourself to the sport. You deserve everything you get out of it. So hopefully he goes on to earn bigger paydays and bigger title fights, and we see more of him. He's someone that can go through the divisions. He can go to cruiserweight and go to heavyweight and do it just like, his idol Oleksandr Usyk had done it, except he'd have an extra weight because he started at light heavy. So
indeed. It is one of the big jumps, isn't it, in terms of the weight categories in boxing, in the men's game, from light heavyweight to cruiser. That's one of the big gaps.
Yeah, that's a massive gap.
And he looks quite a wiry guy. He could obviously put weight on. Yeah. Whether that would change his ability to get around the ring, it's because he's such a tall fella.
Yeah, he is. But, I mean, the more he puts on, if he's carrying that power and he can keep that power, then I think he'll be okay. He's quite tall. He probably walks around quite heavy. So it might not be a big, but maybe when he gets to heavyweight, if he does ever go to heavyweight, that might slow down the feet a bit and change things. But listen, he's got good company in Usyk. Usyk will show him how he done it, because everyone thought moving up to heavyweight for Usyk would, take that little bit of movement away from him, and he looks amazing.
So we've seen a man from Morecambe win on points in Isaac Lowe, and now we've seen Daniel Lapin put a point on the board for Camp Usyk. And of course, with 2 fights into a magnificent night of boxing from the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, all building up to the Undisputed Championship of the World, the two men, Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk, about to face off.
Undefeated, the undefeated, to find out who is the best heavyweight in the world. This man, Oleksandr Usyk, and this man, Tyson Fury. What does it mean to you to be the #1 heavyweight in the world?
Для мене більше значить бути нормальною, порядною людиною, аніж першим номером heavyweight.
Well, I think we both are decent men. We're both family men. We've both got children. We're both God-fearing men. So I don't think you can be any more decent. But listen, the belts are one thing aside, but me and him's got to go fight now. There's been a big build-up, and now we're going to see who's better out of me and Alexander. But I'm a conqueror. Remember that. He's Alexander, but I am the great. So we'll see.
Now, in the past, there have been some insults. Not terrible insults, but mild insults. All part of the game, Tyson?
Yeah. All part of the fun and games.
Мені здається, в розумному плані це нормально, коли ми підвищуємо рівень нашого поєдинку. Але коли ти переходиш на якісь більш грубі речі, я думаю, що це особисте і цього не треба робити, тому що на нас дивляться наші діти. Мене взагалі нічого не оскарбляє з слів Тайсона Ф'юрі. Взагалі нічого.
I've been at this game a long time. Professional over 15 years now. What more? He's average size man, 6'3", 16 stone. He's the same build as every other heavyweight that mostly you're going to fight. He's a left-handed man. I've got a brother who's left-handed. My dad's left-handed. So it's not like I'm not used to fighting people who's left-handed or messing around with them. So it is what it is.
Це бій техніки, це бій серця, це бій всієї моєї кар'єри та спортивної кар'єри і спортивного мого життя. Люди хочуть це побачити. Люди хочуть побачити Тайсона Ф'юрі і Олександра Усика в ринзі за абсолюта. І ми повинні подарувати їм цей поєдинок, тому що вони заслуговують на це.
Is it the fight of your life, Tyson?
Every fight is the fight of my life. Especially an undefeated man. Cruiserweight world champion, heavyweight world champion, Olympic gold medalist. Got to be. I got to prove it all again. I know he can't beat me. I know he can't. Listen, he's a God-fearing man. So am I.
I know.
We are the two biggest Christians in boxing. Without a failure. He can train all he wants. I can train all I want. But whoever God wants to win this fight will win. It don't matter if you're from the gutter or the kingdom of wherever. Whoever's chosen to win this fight will win it. More than anything, why I respect you more than all the other boxers is because your faith.
Yes, of course.
That's why I respect you. Listen, champion, great. But to see someone also, a world champion, who's also big faith in God, is unbelievable.
Мені взагалі не потрібна ненависть, тому що я виконую свою роботу на 300%. Я люблю те, що я роблю. І ненависть породжує ненависть. В мене є спортивна злость, мені цього достатньо.
24 years since we had an undisputed champion in boxing. It's our destiny now to go on and fight for the championship. Nobody else was chosen in all the 24 years. Many heavyweight champions before you, before me, before us. But they didn't have the opportunity to fight for the undisputed championship for one reason or the other.
Of course.
So, all we've got to do now is dance. And I look forward to the challenge.
I'd like, if you could, a prediction.
I can outbox him. I'm a very good boxer, but I don't really use it anymore. When I boxed Vladimir Klitschko, I outboxed him. Beautiful. Feinted, slip, slided, and he couldn't land any punches. I'll do the same to him if I want to, or else I'll just go on the front foot and get stuck into him. There's only one person standing in his way of total domination in Europe, and that's the Dauntless, the Gypsy King.
Велика бійка. А по окончанню 12-го раунду і оголошення переможця Україна і весь світ буде лікувати.
Are we shaking hands?
Yeah.
Shaking hands? Thank you.
That the face-off, if you will. Both men talking the talk. In terms of the tail of the tape, we talked a little bit, Denzel, about that big height and reach advantage. I guess, though, it's what you do with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's what you do with it. You've seen tall fighters fight small, see smaller fighters not being able to get inside, so it's what you do with the advantages that counts at the end of the day.
Yeah. Usyk was declared initially yesterday at that weigh-in at 233 pounds. That's been corrected to a much more normal for him, 223. And Fury is much lighter than he has been for quite a while. A lot lighter than he was against Ngannou in a pretty underwhelming outing last time out. But that's 6'9" and therefore 6-inch height advantage. And an even bigger 7-inch reach advantage. That's big.
That's big. It is big. Like you said about the weight, I mean, I think that means he's taking this fight a lot more serious than he has in his last outings. I'm not sure how much time he spent with his coach, Sugar Hill, yeah. Before that last Ngannou fight, because you were talking about Isaac Lowe training him. It just shows you how, unserious he was for that fight. But this fight, I think he's really locked himself away and got ready for this fight, especially with the extra time he had because of that cut he had in sparring.
What about something that perhaps doesn't always get discussed in a tail of the tape? Look, Usyk, 21 fights.
Yeah.
Fury 34, and there's been some toughies. Obviously, that trilogy with Wilder springs to mind, but there's been one or two others as well that he's had to dig deep in. The Wellin fight where he got cut, obviously, and Ngannou last time out where he had to work harder than he probably wanted to. It's kind of miles on the clock, I'm suggesting. It's a hard thing to measure, but there's more miles on Fury's clock, I would suggest.
Yeah, there is, you're right. Them fights with Wilder, all three of them were hard, grueling fights. He's been put down a few times, he's been cut. He's been caught with big shots, and he's just managed to just grind through and get the win every time. Usyk's had a much smoother career because of his boxing skills, hasn't been caught up into having scraps, or he's just been disciplined and does what he does. So he has less miles on the clock, but he also had a lot of amateur fights going to the Olympics, World Championships and stuff. So in terms of experience, it evens out. But as a pro, getting caught with the shots Fury's been caught with, and the cuts and the big shots and the grueling fights, yeah, that is miles on the clock, I would say.
Great to get the thoughts of Denzel Bentley, who's with us for another half an hour or so before we hand the baton to Riyadh for the box office coverage here on TNT Sports. We're live on 3 at the moment, and indeed on box office until 5 p.m. with the build-up to all that's still to come from the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh.
This isn't just football.
This is crunch time.
Come take a walk with me.
This is in our DNA.
It's just who we are, mate.
This is passion, fire, desire.
Oh my God!
See my shed in this year, one less they've never been there.
This is for the fans.
Absolutely speechless!
This isn't just football. This is
everything.
This is TNT Sports.
Make sure your shoes are tied. You're not walking with greatness.
So many clothes, but nothing to wear.
Turn your nothing to wear into something you'll love. It's now free to sell your pre-owned clothes on eBay. eBay, things people love.
She's got that McDonald's double points feeling. Yep, him too.
Shall we?
And them. Because they've ordered the improved classics with My McDonald's Rewards. Unlock an app today.
One moment, you're wondering what the difference is between a fish finger and a fish goujon, and the next, call them whatever you like. You're a millionaire. Lotto makes 2 millionaires a week on average. Will you be next?
Can the Jones family please buy new school uniforms and pay phone bills, plus gym memberships, your cat's birthday, haircuts, more school uniforms, yoga classes, the shed door is wonky.
Find your way to new adventures with Barclays Savings Goals.
Right, who's got the passports?
Barclays. Make money work for you.
Ooh la la. Need seasoning.
Woo!
Done.
Wow.
Le banger avec le bean.
Thanks, chef.
Oh, juicy tomato.
From expert cookware to stylish kitchen tech, there's more
Voila.
to Argos.
Incredible.
Welcome back to the Kingdom Arena. Ring of Fire is underway in Riyadh. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia hosting tremendous cars of boxing. It is all live with us already on TNT Sports box office, and we continue at 5 p.m. with our team out in Riyadh. We're also live for another half an hour or so here on TNT Sports 3. You've already seen 2 fights come and go. A win for Isaac Lowe at featherweight out of the Fury camp, and a win just a few minutes ago for Daniel Lapin at light heavy. He very much in camp Usyk. Of course, there's some excellent fights to come on that undercard, not least Jai Opetaya and Meris Bridis Part 2. Big encounter for them, a cracking first fight, but no doubt that all eyes on the big prize later, the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the world, the first time in a quarter of a century. So what shape is the Gypsy King in, the dauntless Tyson Fury? Let's dig a little deeper into the last few months and an underwhelming outing against Francis Ngannou.
We are seeing history made.
One of the most dangerous men in combat sport.
I expect him to win this fight relatively easily.
Make no mistake, Tyson Fury will leave 0 stones unturned, and I will come in at my fittest and strongest and best I've ever been to defeat this man.
Ngannou's fought big guys at heavyweight, but he's not fought someone the likes of Tyson Fury, someone that moves like he does.
I have never seen anybody hit with the power that Francis has.
From one punch, the fight can be over, and that kind of intrigue and that kind of suspense draws people.
This fight's going to last as long as Tyson Fury wants it to last.
Tyson Fury is just a superior boxer.
In Saudi Arabia, it's going to be Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou.
Battle of the baddest. The 2 biggest fighters on the planet. The best man in MMA at heavyweight. The best man in boxing at heavyweight.
You never underestimate anybody. Everybody who faces me has the same chance in winning. I punch a chance. He's big, he's strong, he's a champion, and he's got a great story. 6 years from nothing to being world champion. Francis has obviously proved that the want and the never say never attitude wins. Look where he came from only a few short years ago to where he is today, on the brink of making fortunes in the world's biggest fight.
This is another level. One boxer, that's what I see. I have a lack of experience in this sport compared to him. When it's time to fight, I can fight. My expectation to knock the hell out of him.
Francis has got a good punch, all heavyweights do. I think I knock him out cold. And as soon as I land on him with a detonation right hand, it's over. Because it's all right being hit off an MMA fighter, but it's different than being hit off the world heavyweight king.
Two worlds are set to collide here at the Kingdom Arena in the capital city of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. Now, MMA meets boxing as former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou takes on the current WBC and lineal heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury.
I think Francis Ngannou have chance. but Tyson Fury more have chance.
And the new heavyweight champion of the world.
The only chance that the big guy got is just one big shot.
I want to see a good fight.
Yeah. Who do you think's going to win? I know you know both guys very well.
They're both down, my friend.
I think Tyson puts Ngannou to sleep. I think he could probably do it whenever he wanted to, but I'll go 5, maybe 6.
Ready to rock and roll. Here we go again. I thought I was past all this. Here I'm back at it again. Must be a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, Tyson Fury definitely has the edge, but you can't really count Francis out because, you know, he's powerful.
We are the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Let's get ready to rumble.
The most charismatic boxer on the planet against a wrecking machine from the UFC. Cristiano Ronaldo at ringside, Oleksandr Usyk behind him, and Tyson Fury straight out to meet Francis Ngannou with a big shot early on. That's better from Fury. Brilliant shot from Fury, the first time he's let his overhand right go properly. And it connects with Ngannou, who took it well, and then he wants to fire his own one back. There's no shortage of ambition from Ngannou. Both of them fighting fire with fire in this opening round. Tyson Fury just having a paw at that eye after Ngannou landed that particular one.
You ain't got to rush him. It's all about you getting your timing. You hear me? You got to get the timing on the shot first. You trying to run in and lunge and catch it.
He's growing into the fight, Richie. The more it goes, the better he gets. He's starting to land shots. Big left hook from Ngannou.
The Ngannou fight was a disaster. He was awful, underprepared.
It was such a show rather than an actual boxing match. I just think he took his eye off the ball.
Да, коли я побачив нокдаун, я трошки запереживав. Ви знаєте, насамперед я дуже хвилювався за Тайсона Ф'юрі.
Champion has to pick himself off the canvas. Unbelievable left hook came from Ngannou. Fury's okay, he's been there many times before, but that is an incredible punch from Francis Ngannou. Incredible. How much damage has it done? Are we on the verge of a sensation here in Riyadh?
Та я навіть кричав Тайсону, щоб він працював джебом і рухався.
Astonishing. What an amazing turnaround. What an amazing punch. And he's got to get working quickly. Ngannou rushing in. Fury trying to counter. Oh, that's better. That's a lot better from Fury. That's so much better. Very, very quick with that combination. Into the 7th here. Certainly get the impression that Tyson Fury's going to dominate the rest of the way. 3 to go into the 8th. To this stage of the fight onwards, that's really going to test the stamina of Francis Ngannou. Whether that time out of left hand, good left hand by Ngannou. Ngannou starting to go to work again, starting to let the punches go. Fury on fire. I just can't even imagine what Oleksandr Usyk's thinking right now. He's up, look, flexing, crowd love him. Well, there's the final bell. We're going to go to the scorecards, and who knows? The Ngannou corner are celebrating. They think he's won it.
Winner by split decision. Still undefeated from the United Kingdom, the WBC Heavyweight World Champion, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
I thought that Francis Ngannou won that fight. I think Tyson maybe overlooked him.
Ні, мені здається, з точки зору боксу Тайсон переміг. Звісно, що накладається важливість на те, що Нгану це не боксер, а Тайсон Ф'юрі це чемпіон світу в важкій вазі.
Here's what we're looking forward to next. Oleksandr Usyk against Tyson Fury. We're going to hear from them now.
Listen, it's been going on a long time. You're supposed to fight in April at Wembley. It never happened. Let's do the fight over here. His Excellency Turkey El-Sheikh is going to put the fight on for all the belts. The Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the world. Let's go, my brother. Let's go.
Alexander.
Let's go.
Я хотів просто, щоб ми анонсували наш поєдинок. Я йому сказав, коли ми бачили фейс-ту-фейс, я кажу, чувак, ти втомився, йди відпочинь.
Undefeated, the undefeated, who is the best heavyweight in the world. 2 world champions, Oleksandr Usyk, Tyson Fury.
Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run.
Usyk's got to him mentally.
You know what's coming, you're getting smashed to pieces, sausage.
Fury likes to be in control with the mind games, and he's not in control in this situation.
You're fighting the best British heavyweight there's ever been. You beat all the rest of them, but you ain't beat Tyson Fury yet. He's shriveled up now, do you have?
Tyson Fury every time a lot of speak, but for me it doesn't matter. I more speak in the ring.
The best version of Tyson Fury has been and gone. In the last couple of years, he had the win against Dillian Whyte, he had the win against Derek Chisora, but they weren't as competitive as what this fight is going to be.
Has he still got it in him?
If there is ever a fight to bring it out of him, then it is this one. This is the big one.
He's still got that desire. Usyk is more of a technical fighter, very, very much smaller. The sheer size of him, if he can just use that and make it simple, then I think he runs away with it.
Usyk's far too smart of a fighter to just fall into that trap of having the bigger guy use his size against him. He can get himself into range and then touch you 3, 4, 5 times before he puts that power shot in.
I hope that the fight happens, no one's got injured, and the whole planet gonna be witnessing the biggest fight of the heavyweight in this century.
Look at that right there. Woo! Nice little elbow right in the eye.
The eye injury, savage cut. Nobody training for a fight wants to get injured, and they certainly don't want to get cut.
Heartbreak when the fight was postponed.
At first I was a little bit depressed.
Very quickly the date was rescheduled.
Готуюсь до нього вже на протязі багатьох років, відтоді, як він переміг Володимира.
If he's better than me, then he beat me. If I'm better than him, I'll beat him.
Всієї моєї спортивної кар'єри і спортивного мого життя. Люди хочуть це побачити. Люди хочуть побачити Тайсона Ф'юрі і Олександра Усика в ринзі. Багато хлопців з фронту пишуть мені, мої друзі, з якими я зустрічаюсь, вони хочуть мотивації, вони хочуть цю перемогу. І це як їхня перемога. Це перемога всієї країни моєї.
Every fight is the fight of my life. Especially an undefeated man. Cruiserweight world champion, heavyweight world champion, Olympic gold medalist. I've got to prove it all again.
It's been such a long time, so many stops and starts. We're finally here. It's probably a bigger fight now.
The biggest fight of the 21st century.
I don't hate him, he don't hate me. I respect him.
We're going to find out who the best heavyweight in the world is.
It's been 24 years since we had an undisputed champion in boxing. It's for our destiny now to fight for the championship. It's unfortunate for Alexander that he's got to fight Tyson Fury in my era. And I will be victorious.
Well, that surely's got the juices flowing. Great story, lots of build-up, and there'll be more to come. And that's how you get involved. TNT Sports box office from 5 p.m. for the buy-in. You can use the QR code on the screen right now, or the website for more information and T's and C's, tntsports.co.uk/box office. Denzel Bentley still alongside me. Which Tyson Fury do we get?
I'm hoping we get the best Tyson Fury, but I'm not sure we do. I don't know where his mind's at. If he still wants to box, I know in the past his wife spoke about him not wanting him to box no more, and he spoke about retirement a number of times and stuff. So, but I know he's someone that he doesn't want to lose, so he wouldn't take this fight if he felt like, you know, he's going in it half-heartedly. He probably doesn't know that he's not his best, as we were discussing before, like you said, but I think Usyk wants the best version of Fury, which makes Usyk scary in this fight, because he doesn't want a Fury that's halfway there.
No. Equally, if we get something close to or the best version of Tyson Fury, is that a fighter that Oleksandr Usyk has never seen before?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, look, the guy's had over 300 fights in his life, but I think Fury's is one of a kind. I don't think there's anyone like Fury. He's as we were discussing earlier off the air, he's big and he's coordinated. There's no one like that. There's no one, you know, you couldn't match him with anyone and say, oh, this guy's like Fury. You can't, not even his own. When we thought Fury was similar, or the next time, he proved he wasn't. Do you know what I mean? So it would be the only version that could beat Usyk.
Yeah, you said earlier, awkward and dangerous is a bad combo. Awkward, dangerous, and massive is an even worse combo.
Yeah, well,
the perfect combo.
The perfect combo, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a little sense of where they're at. Let's have a little delve into where they came from.
Я з точки зору людини, яка знає, що таке бокс.
Usyk is a dangerous operator.
In and out, in and out.
Here's one of them very best.
Як після поєдинку тобі важко, як ти хочеш вийти.
I can never imagine Usyk getting hit with clean shots. He's given a lot of people problems.
Pound for pound number one. Та набагато, на яких жертв мені повинно було йти.
This was just a hurricane that came into the boxing world.
Де більше я ріс, зростав на вулиці. Сімферополь в хуліганському середовищі ріс. Коли я вчився в 2 класі, я дуже сильно захворів. Там в мене була пневмонія, там двостороння, ну там страшенна хвороба була. Навіть лікар сказав, що я можу... Пріст, батюшка, коли прийшов до нас в больницю, він сказав, що мені треба молитися, і Бог вирішує, скільки я буду жити. Я по сьогоднішній день кожного дня кажу йому дякую. Насамперед, я займався футболом, там різними видами спорту, але у мене не було коштів для того, щоб платити, я пішов на бокс. Учасником збірної команди України це перший раз відбулося в 2006 році, коли мені було 19 років. Пішла вгору моя боксерська кар'єра, і я відвідав
King of the world tonight, Oleksandr Usyk.
Батьку. Він мені казав, що в мене вийде. Він побачив, що я став олімпійським чемпіоном, але я не встиг приїхати з золотою медаллю, щоб йому показати. Коли я приїхав, то він вже лежав у дерев'яній коробці. Я просто достав її сумку і приклав до його руки, отак його рукою мертвою потримав і вийшов з кімнати. Він коли приходить за день до поєдинку і посміхається. Don't cry, you man. Кажуть, що чоловіки не плачуть. Мужики плачуть сильними сльозами. Такими сильними сльозами. Це неймовірний шлях був.
He's a southpaw, he's an Olympic gold medalist, he has incredible footwork.
He unified all the cruiserweight titles. He's only done one thing, win.
It shows you what an incredible fighter he is.
I think he has more power at heavyweight.
Usyk belongs where he is. He's a serious fighter.
Russians
what you're doing in our home country.
Я зразу почав думати, як мені повернутися, тому що в Україну літаки не літають. І одна машина їхала в Київ. Це наша машина. То я сутки добирався. Їздив підтримати хлопців. Знаєте, я насамперед, коли вийшов там з машини, ми там лазили йшли там по окопам, і я про що подумав? Я почав нюхати, що відбувається. Там смертю пахне. І з Віталієм Володимировичем, з обома, да. І коли ми тільки на початку вступили там в тероборону, я спілкувався з Віталієм Володимировичем. Каже, молодець, що ти там все таке, але ти більше зробиш, якщо будеш говорити про це в Європі, в Америці, що у нас відбувається, і ти зможеш допомогти своїй країні трошки по-іншому.
Oleksandr Usyk has retained his heavyweight title belt.
It is signed.
It's signed. It's for the 4 belts.
We will finally know who the top heavyweight on the planet is.
Where's Oleksandr Usyk, the rabbit? Hey, rabbit! You are next. Me and you. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run.
Неймовірно себе відчуваю, як на Олімпійських іграх 2012 року. Таким же молодим, енергічним і з великим бажанням рухатись вперед.
You beat all the rest of them, but you ain't beat Tyson Fury yet, sausage.
Всієї моєї кар'єри та спортивної кар'єри і спортивного мого життя. Я хочу вам так сказати, перемога загальна всього українського народу, а поразка – це особиста.
I more speak in the ring.
Це неймовірний шлях був. Взагалі ніякої роботи не боюсь.
Brilliant insight into the two men, particularly Usyk. Every fighter, Denzel's got a backstory. It often involves suffering. I'm sure you've got your own. Does it matter when you get into the ring?
No, most definitely. It gives you a reason to fight, and I guess it switches you on differently. It gives you a different urge of, just gives you a different energy, something to fight for. And it makes it worthwhile. It makes you dig deeper, and he has a lot to fight for, just by watching what we just saw.
Yeah, I don't think we're in any doubt which Usyk turns up tonight.
Yeah.
What we're not sure about is which Fury. And if it's the best Fury, is that too much? Is that too big? Is that too awkward? Is that too dangerous?
Yeah.
For even the best Usyk?
It could be, but I think that's the version of Fury Usyk wants. So Usyk's ready for the challenge and he's up for whatever Fury turns up.
For sure, if it's as good tonight as it's been all week in Saudi, we're in for a treat.
Massive week. We're going to go straight in at the top about the size of the event. The fact that we've got these two fighters together for a fight we haven't seen for 25 years, Richie.
Yeah, incredible and great for the sport, Steve. It's a fight that everyone wants to see, and it's much needed. It's really needed in the sport, so it doesn't get bigger than this for me.
I don't think you can kind of underestimate the magnitude of this fight. It's massive, massive for our sport. Massive for sport, really, like to have an undisputed champion. It's the first one since Lennox Lewis. I don't know, I just feel like a kid in a toy shop. Like, I'm absolutely buzzing about this.
Do you get the sense that the winner of this doesn't just become the undisputed heavyweight champion in the world, but he becomes this giant inside sport? Because you've already touched on that. This is great for boxing, of course it is. But is it something also that sport needs?
I think that most rational thinking sports fans would still agree that the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world is the greatest prize in sport.
Cole, you mentioned there that you felt like a sort of child in a sweet shop or in a toy shop. Explain what you mean, because you've been in some big fights in the ring, massive sold-out arenas. You've been in some big fights outside the ring, and yet here you are looking me in the eye and saying, "I feel like a child. I feel like a kid in a sweet shop."
I'm a boxing fan, Bunsey. That's what I am. And I mean, they say this is work. But I'm absolutely loving what I'm doing. And if this is work, then I'm happy to do it for the rest of my days and be involved in these humongous events. I just feel honoured and privileged to be here.
Well, this is a bit of work. How does it end?
I just think that Tyson Fury will be just that step too far for Oleksandr Usyk. I think he'll be a little bit too big. He's a difficult opponent to get to if he doesn't want to get hit.
Yes.
If he decides to box at range, then it's going to be really difficult for Usyk. And I think a late stoppage for Tyson Fury.
If he stops his energy, I think you could see a late stoppage for Fury.
I hope Tyson Fury does go for the knockout, as he did in the second fight with Deontay Wilder, because if he does, we're in for a hell of a fight.
You know, the last time Tyson was here, you were sparring Gokar. And I know for a fact, yeah, it don't matter who you are, you know for a fact that thing hasn't healed properly. Yeah, he hasn't been sparring, so he's probably off to doing more in cardio. And then I think Alexander, his team, they're going to aim for that eye. And that eye is going to open up. I think the eye will open up in round 3 or 4.
Yeah, welcome to the press conference for Ring of Fire as Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk get ready to settle the debate that's been brewing for the better part of 25 years. Who will be crowned the baddest man on the planet? And more importantly, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. The press conference behind me will get ready just very shortly. There was a lot of noise around this sort of spectacle, but it seems now you've got two high-level fighters, very respectful, that understand what's in front of them and what they need to do to achieve their goals.
Usyk remind me of myself. I met him one time and he told me, he said, exactly what you done. You became cruiserweight champion, then you became the heavyweight champion of the world. He said, I'm going to do the same thing.
This will be for the undisputed
heavyweight championship
of the world.
Oleksandr, do you have a message for Tyson?
Let your hand talk in the ring.
I'm ready. I've got nothing to say apart from I'm ready for a good fight.
Just one more from you, Tyson. Just a message to Oleksandr Usyk. Anything you want to say to him before Saturday?
God bless him. And I'll say a prayer for him before we walk out, that we both get out the ring in one piece and go home to our families, because that's what it's about.
Mind games here, Carl.
Yeah, Tyson doesn't want to look at him. I think it looks maybe he's going to turn and look, maybe not. No, I don't think so. This is interesting, isn't it?
I'm almost intrigued as to what the message Tyson Fury is trying to send to Oleksandr Usyk by doing something like this. You've been in a fighter's shoes, both of you have achieved in terms of the highest level. What message is he trying to send by not even giving them the respect of acknowledging him there?
I think with Tyson Fury, they're both very experienced. They've seen it all before.
I'm not sure if part of your role here in Saudi is to hand the winner the belt you've carried in your heart for 25 years, the Undisputed. What do you think that will feel like at about 1 o'clock in the morning when you're giving them, one of them, the Undisputed belt, a belt that, as I say, you feel that you've still owned since that night in November? What would that be like for you?
I'll feel good handing it over because now he has to beat my record, hold it for 25 years.
That's possible. In this day and age, who knows?
Bring back memories?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I had all of them, they're too heavy.
What a week. 25 years we've had to wait to crown an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Come on, Tyson! Come on, Tyson!
And if the explosion at the weigh-in is anything to go by, well then tonight is due to be something very special.
It's a good day start.
Well, the time for talking is almost over for the two big men. One of them will become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the first in a quarter of a century. It's live on Box Office. That is almost it for us here on TNT Sports 3. We will say goodbye, but of course the show continues on Box Office with all the build-up to continue very shortly. Thanks for your company on 3.